So my name's Brett Sutton. This is my wife Darinda, and we are the owners of this 1974 Dodge B200 Tradesman Maxi van, also known as the Orange Krate. We purchased the van in Independence, Missouri about 4 years ago, and it's been a 4 year process, and we'll explain as we go the workings in the van.
So we live in St. Augustine, Florida. This is basically a tribute van to St. Augustine, Florida. So as we go around the Orange Krate to point out some of the things that are on it from an artwork perspective, we'll highlight some of the landmarks that you would see if you went to St. Augustine today. So we'll start at the beginning, and this is the Sutton ship. So our last name is Sutton. This is the Sutton ship, and what you'll start to notice is all of the different oranges, or the number of oranges. So even in the flag of the ship is an orange, and then this is a 1774 pirate who is digging up on the beach and comes across a 1974 surfer dude. So one of the things that he's digging up is the buried treasure, and you'll notice that he dug up an album. So one of the things that we did as we were working with our artist to do the van is identify which album is he digging up. So if you look closely, it is Jimmy Buffett's A1A album that was released in 1974.
So a couple of the features on the van, the base paint was done by HQ Auto Body down in Pompano Beach, Florida. The artist, of course, was Ed Beard Jr. Friends of ours, they're honored on the other side. They custom built the exhaust, actually picked the van up and did just a ton of work on it. That's Chris and Jim Williams, also known as the Williams brothers. So the story of the whole mural is the pirates were on the seas in the 1700s, got lost in the Bermuda Triangle, and washed up on the shores of St. Augustine. So all throughout the mural, like Dee said, there's different objects that are buried in the paint. And when when he completed the work, he also set up a treasure quest, so you can go through and find all the hidden objects in his artwork.
The other thing we'd like to point out is the surfboard that the surfer has. There is one on top of the van that was actually done by a friend of ours, Kevin with Black Pearl Surfboard Creations up in St. Augustine. So we tried to match the colors of the true surfboard against what's in the paint.
And Ed has the other board, and he is painting a mural on it that we'll pick up at Panorama 9 here in August in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
So if you continue back through, you can see here, this is the sunrise side of the van, so the sun is actually an orange. And then incorporated into this side is our dog, Bandit. That was his name before we did the van, so Ed made him the Pirate King. And then, Brett, do you want to go through some of the details that are on your mural?
So some of the features, these are the tiki gods of drinking. So you have your tiki god of gluttony and pleasure, happy face. You have of course, everybody has the tiki god of mean drunkenness. And then this is the tiki god of overindulgence. And if you look, he's holding the toilet seat. So my elixir, which is my favorite drink's rum, is in this bottle. WF is our Wayne Automotive. He's who built our engine.
Some of the other detail, if you look very closely, there is a small cigar that is in his leather belt here. And of course the cummerbund and the leather, the jacket and everything. And then this ring we actually had made, and
I don't have it on.
Doesn't have it on it now, but we're having all the jewelry made as well from a jewelry that's out in the West Coast. But here you can also see some of the additional oranges that are on. There's a total of 67 oranges that are incorporated into the van overall.
In case you haven't noticed, my ugly mug's on the side of the van. So this is a Pirate King Mr. Bandit. So we also changed out the fuel cap. It's I think these were off 69 to 70s. Most of the Mopars had them back in the day. So we basically came up with the name the Orange Krate before we started the process of the van. And that had to do a lot with what went into the artwork when Ed created it. I met Ed at Vanarama 2 years ago and had given him an idea of what I wanted, and then he pretty much went crazy on the van.
And that looks like a stock grill, eh?
Yeah.
Spoiler on the front?
Yeah, all the spoilers, all the fiberglass works from Captain Kirk of Custom Vans.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And there is a sun visor that's going to be installed at Vanarama this year.
All right, so on the passenger side of the van, that's my side. We start off with the fort in St. Augustine. So we have that here, and then we have another palm tree that he has incorporated into the octagonal window that's on the side of this. And then as we continue to move back, this is actually the St. Augustine pier that he has tucked in here underneath the door handle. And just to point out, here's another little subtle orange that is put into the paint. Ed has those strewn throughout. And then if you go down here, here's a treasure chest of old car parts. And then you can also see the bullion coins on the bottom and the seashells that look like they could come right off the paint at you. Those of you that may not know that in St. Augustine, we have something that's called the Alligator Farm. So this is to represent the Alligator Farm in St. Augustine. More palm trees. And then this is actually the sunset side of the van. This is the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And this is reportedly one of the most haunted lighthouses in the country. I don't know about the world, but at least the country. So if you look closely, there's a couple ghosts that just happen to be flying around the lighthouse to signify the most haunted lighthouse. This is my tiki bar on this side, and Terry Williams is the gentleman who has given up his spot and donated it to us for SEMA. So we were supposed to go to SEMA in 2020. Obviously with the pandemic and COVID, everything got canceled. So we're hoping that things are still going to be going on for November of 2021. So I just want to give a shout out to Terry for his graciousness with this. So this is his tiki pole. You can also see some additional oranges there. Terry 66 is in the orange, and that's what Terry's known as, Terry 66 on YouTube. So you can follow him. And then here is my side, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the hats that we have on. So there is a woman in St. Augustine by the name of Kim McCrossan, and she actually makes hats, pirate hats of St. Augustine, and she hand did our hats. So both of our hats were handmade by Kim, so a big shout out to her as well. You can see that on the tankards, the dates that we have there are both of my birthday and Brett's birthday on his tankard, but the year is 17 instead of 19. Down here, this is a tribute to Chris and Jim Williams, who Brett mentioned earlier, were the Williams brothers that went out to Missouri to actually pick up the van and did the custom exhaust work and did a lot of work on it. So this is a tribute to them, but just a couple things. If you look real closely, you can see that this is a 1776 Torino blend of rum. They are rum drinkers as well, but they have a 1976 Grand Torino, Scarsi and Hutch Torino. So that is the tribute to them with the Torino blend of the rum. The Gangplank Tavern menu that is here, this was actually a replica of something that Brett's father had in the basement that he was growing up in. So he had a basement bar that was done as, and it was called the Gangplank Tavern. So we actually have the original menu board that we put on here as well. And then last on this side, you can start to see, here's another one of the tikis, but this is actually a tribute to the Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine. So one of the lions is here. Here, you can see we have Team Williams, we have HQ, and so these are all of our people that helped us, Black Pearl Creations. The other thing that you'll notice throughout the van are these peppers. So St. Augustine is the where daddle peppers. Some of you may not have heard of daddle peppers, but they were originally brought into St. Augustine, I think by the Mallorcans who came over. So there are daddle peppers that are strewn throughout the van as part of the paint as well. And if you can't tell, the likeness, that is me. All right. Now we will go back, turn it over to Brett, and he will finish out the back panels of the van.
Okay, so when we started the process on the van, like I said earlier, we brain dumped for a couple months, and we let Ed go crazy on it. But I wanted the back doors, so I purchased this map in Key West a few years ago, and it was dated 1862. And Ed went back into time on the internet to make sure that the map is true as it can be. So every little tributary, each one of these little keys was here then, which a lot of them are gone now. And he just banged this map out in a couple of weeks. I was a land surveyor for a living, so I had to teach him some how to put it to scale, teach him about the northern arrow. And then on the back here, this tells the whole story of the van. There's 5 places that mean a lot to us in Florida. This is St. Augustine, and I wanted to get the coordinates on it, so we went more into detail. This is one of my favorite watering holes. It's called the Sandbar in St. Augustine. This is Renegades in Willaca, or in Palacta. It's a campground we go to. This is Cedar Key. It's Dock Street. And here is Launch Pad 39A in Cape Canaveral. And when I was a kid, my father worked for NASA, so that was my first time I was ever in Florida. And then, of course, you have to have Sloppy Joe's in Key West. So if you look at the detail in it, it's all about the journey. And that was what our whole thing was, our whole theme with the van, was from the time we picked it up to the people that have worked on it, to the friends that we've met, and the finished product. It's just been all about the journey. So, and that's the Orange Krate. Yeah, big thanks to Ed. We didn't know each other till 2 years ago, and we've become quite the friends in the last couple of years. He's an amazing artist, and he and his family they're very good people. So it was by chance that we met, and I'm glad we did. So when I purchased the van, it wasn't running. It ran, but not too well. But like I said earlier, it came out of Missouri. And when I contacted Steve, the guy that owned it, I said I needed 2 things. One, the carpeting. It's all original. There's no stink in the carpeting. And number 2 was no rust. And he guaranteed me that I wouldn't have a problem with that. And amazingly enough, for a maxi van from that year, they just got used up. They were plumbers' vans or, carpeting vans or whatever. So when I saw the van, basically the interior was like this. I've added some stuff to it, but all the orange carpeting is original from 1974. I guess the guy that purchased the van originally had bought it, had it converted, and passed away, and that's when Steve picked it up. Had it for 6 months, so I'm basically the 3rd owner of the van. So
The doors covered?
the doors, yeah, everything, all the diamond top came like that. The seats were in it. The center console was even there, which is rare on the dog box. So I'll show you the inside and where the idea for the entire van came from. If you there's the Pirate King. If you look at the booty sign up there, that is off of an Orange Krate from W.H. Clark Fruit Company in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's basically all I wanted on the side of the van. And then when I met Ed, you know him, and that's how it took off. But that was the original. You know, I just wanted something like maybe Sutton Fruit Company, St. Augustine, Florida, and I wanted to call it the Orange Krate, and that's where the idea for the entire van came from.
Okay, then let's see, you got cabinets in here, sink.
So the sink and the ice box everything was in here when I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Magazine rack was here. I just added a bunch of other stuff to it, but I was considering taking the sink out, but I sort of liked the originality of it. So,
Nice wooden floor.
And a dog and a surfboard.
Love laying on the floor, right? Yeah. I see you have Endless Summer there. I never forget when years ago when that first came out.
Yes, sir.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Ins and Outs.
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget that. I thought that was so cool. Ins and outs. They could surf in and then surf back out.
Yeah.
So you said all the carpet is original?
All it's original except for the orange on the floor.
No, okay.
So on the overhead, the CB radio and the Cobra radar detector are still fully functional. They were original. We added the amp meter, and on the right side we have charging ports that we put in. And then the left side, of course, is the wireless backup camera. So here's a shot looking back through the van. The overhead cabinets were there. Stereo's wonderful the way they put it in. It sounds really good. And the bed was in there when we bought it. This is the rear of the van. This is the captain's quarters, of course, in the back. We refurbished the we put all new LED lights the whole way through, so there's basically no battery wasted. And then the storage compartment underneath, it took me a while. A friend of mine, we engineered it so that this just lifts up and hides all the storage underneath, so you don't see it, to match the back doors. The back of this isn't finished yet. I'm probably gonna do something with the back doors with the space in here yet, but that's coming up in the future.
You got a fan there for
the fan. These original. These are really cool pub lights.
Yeah, those are like from back in the 70s.
Yeah, they are, absolutely.
You got a vent.
We have a vent, and we have to have, of course, the disco ball light.
Oh yeah.
Hanging on the mirror. Battery powered, of course. So, and that's basically the Orange Krate.
Very cool.
All right, this is one of my favorites, but best paint. Number 32, the Orange Krate.
Wait, she's bringing bandit.
There we go. Nice.
While you guys are here, our next award was for best theme, which is also the Orange Krate. We love this van.
Look this way.